Okay, so why most financial advisors fail at Facebook ads and how to fix it, right? So if you've been spending money on ads, whether you're a financial advisor, a tax planner, estate planner, but your campaigns are not converting and you're asking yourself, why is this not making me more money? Then this is a video for you. But maybe you already have a campaign that is somewhat working, but you wanted to make it work better, right? You want to make more money, you want a higher return on ad spend, then this video is also for you, right? We've recently helped one of our financial advisor clients collect over 1.6 million with like more than 50% gross profit because we've massively reduced the ad spend from last quarter over quarter, right? So this has been a very, very good results. With 300K, 350K ad spend, we made over 900 grand, right? Like obviously the more you spend, the less, you're gonna make per dollar spent. And this is also Q4, right? So this is basically where we only had half a December. So this is basically 2.5 months of sauce, right? I'm gonna spill it all here. I'm gonna share it all with you. Just a quick disclaimer, what I'm going to tell you in this video is not going to guarantee you will get results like that. If you want guaranteed results like that, and if you want to scale your advisory firm to that level and above, then click the link below and schedule a free call with our team or with myself, right? So I just want to go into why this is super important. Like if you crack paid ads, it's creating a money printer. Once you know what type of message you send to what type of prospects and what type of funnel you run, you're going to have a machine where you can put $1 in, you can get $4, $5, $6, $7, maybe even $10 out forever, right? Like this is basically a money printer, better than the Fed. And this is a technique as much as an art form, right? So you have to apply some logic to it, but you also have to test things. So I just want to start it off, and that's going to illustrate my example, is looking at what most advisors are doing, right? So if you look at the Facebook ad library, we type in retirement planning for the United States, I will see, and this is by no means, a personal critique of the people, right? Like people don't know it better. We are looking at ads that are very feature heavy, right? Like this is what I see most of the time. I see boring, bland creatives and very vague, non-specific language, right? For example, I saw this ad.
Do you dream about retiring?
This is kind of like a very typical example, right? Like, do you dream about retiring, right? That's very, very non-specific. That's very vague. That's very, like, do you dream about eating, right? Like we all love eating, we all love retiring, right? But it's more about like, how could you make this more specific? You could say like, hey, do you dream about retiring and having your house is paid off, your car's paid off, having enough money to put your kids through college while not having to worry about any medical bill? And right, like, this is going to be way more specific, speaking to a demographic that is way more specific, right? So this is what I want to highlight when I say specificity. And it's also very bland, right? Like veterans, no medical life insurance, no waiting period, coverage up to 50,000, right? Like that's kind of like a very general ad. Yes, some people who are absolutely in the market and looking at 100 different life insurance are going to click on that, but it's not going to blow anyone's socks off, right? We see also a lot of feature heavy stuff, right? Like, so this is a tax planning ad, right? Where we see what's included, right? Like business entity review, top standing strategies, maximizing deduction, asset protection, retirement, right? They're like feature, right? This is what we're going to do for you. But people don't care about your features, right? Like we have to be very specific. Nobody's interested in features like planning, whatever you do. Everybody's interested in what it can do for them, right? Like, don't sell the drill, sell the hole, sell the outcome, right? A lot of times people make the mistake, they send people to the page, right? Like, I mean, you could call it a funnel. And I'm by no way, like criticizing that person just in particular. This is what I see a lot of times with financial advisors, tax planners, estate planners. Very bland, very, hey, visit our page, protect what matters, get the best insurance, right? Like the best insurance is just such a vague term, right? So what can we do instead, right? Like last one, no differentiation, right? This looks all the same, right? Like this looks all the same. Worried you'll run out of money in retirement. Yeah, kind of, right? Like it's all very the estate planning blueprint, right? Like it's a lot of times you're going to see the same stuff.
Should you use LinkedIn outreach or Facebook ads to grow your advice?
And this is more specific, right? Like this is somebody who's advertising, hey, should you use LinkedIn or Facebook ads to grow your advisory firm, right? And I mean, somebody who's trying to do similar things or, right? You see like more people, if they're more well-versed in marketing, they're going to speak a little bit more specific. They're going to present you a specific question, right? So this is actually quite a good example. But let's jump on. Like, what should you be doing instead? Like, first of all, you need to have one highly profitable offer in the beginning, in the front end, what we call it, that can offset your customer acquisition cost, and that you can, on step 2, clearly communicate the tangible value, right? So I just, for examples, there's a ton of stuff there, right? Like a comprehensive financial plan, tax strategy, estate planning, social security optimization, retirement account planning. Like this needs to be like one package in a sense, one price point, and then you need to clearly communicate the tangible value of that offer, right? Because if I were to offer my clients Facebook ads, right? Like you can go on Upwork, you can find a million different Pakistani people, and no knock on Pakistanis or whatever region they're coming from, who do your Facebook ads, right? Like I would have like millions and millions of people in competition. But if I say like I build, a customer acquisition system for financial advisors, tax planners, and estate planners that adds a minimum of $50,000 a month to your monthly revenue, right? That's a value proposition. Like how many people do that, right? And I even want to claim 100,000, not yet there that it's 100,000 guaranteed, but like anybody who's in that market is going to be interested by that service. As if it's like Facebook ads or email marketing, that's just a feature. That's just a feature, right? People are not interested in features. Now I asked ChatGPT for some tangible offers for these things, right? You could say like, we will help you uncover inefficiencies and identify opportunities to save and grow 50 to 100,000 over the next 10 years by optimizing your budgeting, investing, debt and management, and tax planning, right? Like that's a comprehensive financial plan, right? If you claim that offer, and I know there's a lot of, things you cannot claim, right? In that case, if that's, legal has a problem with it, I would claim on average, we help retirees uncover inefficiencies and identify opportunities to save or grow $50,000 over the next 10 years, right? Like that's a tangible value. If you save me $100,000 over the next 10 years, I'm willing to pay you $1,000 a year or $10,000, right? Like that's a fair value proposition for me, right? It's the same way I charge. I charge $50K and we charge about $3,000, right? Same could be done for tax strategy. Same could be done for estate planning, right? Like we will reduce your estate taxes by up to 40%, right? We will create strategies that maximize your social security benefits, increasing lifetime payouts between $50,000 to $150,000, right? You have to provide tangible value. Like you're not going to win in this market if you don't have a claim, if you don't have an offer. If you just offer planning, nobody's interested. If you just offer LLC setups, nobody's interested, right? So like they can get that anywhere else. You can also add financial disclaimers if there's a problem. Now, step number 3, you need to clearly communicate that offer to your target audience. You've got to have a target audience, and you've got to clearly communicate that tangible value. Example for one of our clients is like, if you're an IRA millionaire, we will save you $500,000 in income tax, future income tax, or you don't pay. That's a beautiful claim, right? Like people love that claim. And then you can add some disclaimers to it. Like the condition have to be right. You need to, have X and X and Y, right? Like you got to fish for that perfect clients where you can actually deliver that value. But this is a beautiful claim. This is the most important part. This is where 90%, 99% of advisors fail actually, right? This is where you just are in that comparable mud of everybody else that claims, oh, we're going to teach you real estate. We're going to write you a retirement plan. What do you call someone who is happy on Monday, retired, it's all do you want to retire? Yes, of course, everybody wants to retire. Do you want a retirement plan? Yeah, I would like a retirement plan. It's not like I don't know, right? Like depends. That depends. Like you should never answer the question to your offer with like, yeah, that depends, right? Like if I ask somebody, hey, do you want $100,000 in monthly revenue? Like unless it's making like 2 million or even then, but like maybe if it's making $5 million a month, they're going to be like, well, 100K isn't that much, but I can probably make those people way more. But, anybody else would say yes to that question. So you have to create an offer. You have to create a tangible value proposition that people say yes to. That's the most important part. This is where 99% fail. Now, this is the next part, right? Like those, now we're going to go into technical stuff, right? You need to optimize for the right standard event, right? Like on Facebook ads, you can do a couple of things. You can do lead ads, you can do lead forms, you can do leads on your website, you can do complete registrations, you can do website visits, traffic. None of that matters in my opinion, right? Like if you want leads that you have to call, you will optimize for leads. Those are going to be people who opt in. Those are going to be people who, go into your phone, fill out your email, phone number and everything, and then don't, take action most of the time. Some of them will, but most of them won't. If you want somebody to schedule a consultation, which is already one step above, right, which is in my opinion the second best thing that you want to optimize for, you will optimize for schedule. Now the best thing, and this is a pro tip, right? Pro tip, pay attention, is to optimize for purchase. Facebook and all of the advertising platforms are built for purchases. But the problem is you cannot optimize for purchase if you have to sell something on a sales call. That's why I always recommend people who can write a book, because then you can actually optimize for purchase and you can get purchasers, right? Leads are inferior to purchasers. If you get purchase people who whip out their credit card, even if it's just a $7 book, they are 30 times more likely to actually buy some stuff from you further on, right? This is super important. That's why, like I said, I advise people actually sell a book. We help people obviously write a book. So that's one of our service offerings. So if you need help with that, feel free to click the link below and schedule a call. But this is super important. If you can't, you optimize for schedule, in my opinion, right? Like that's the second best thing. And if you can't do that because you're incapable of doing it and you don't know how to build a funnel and how to build your advertising, first of all, reach out to somebody who can. But second of all, you can optimize for leads. Now, next point, you need to build a funnel and you need to track the results, right? You need to have a funnel. I wouldn't send people straight up to your website. I wouldn't send people straight up to just a bland calendar page, right? Like I want to have a survey and I want to have a follow-up scheduling call, right? Like calendar. So I think like this, is suboptimal, right? To send people to just the website. Of course, I don't know, maybe they might be printing money with this, but who knows? Have a funnel. Basically, what I like to do is to have a form or a lead form or some kind of like information gathering. And then you want to have qualified people and unqualified people. And then you want to disqualify the unqualified people. You don't want to send them to your page because otherwise you're going to tell Facebook to give you more of unqualified people. And all the qualified people, you want to have them on your calendar. And the more options you give in that funnel, right? Like if there's like here, there's a million things I can click, right? Like I can go everywhere. I can go buy, right? Like yes, this is going to be okay for like, generally people warming up. But the problem is I'm never going to be able to track my results here, right? Like this is not going to be able to deliver good and accurate data back to Facebook, and then Facebook is going to struggle. And last but not least, right? You need to test way more than you think. You need to test way more ads. You need to test not maybe way more funnels, but a couple funnels. You need to test more videos, more content. You need to produce more. You need to be on the ball, right? Like if you want to win in 2025 and beyond, you need to produce stuff. For example, we just written an ad for one of our clients, right? These are over 30 hooks that we're going to test, and 2 different body section, 2 different funnels, basically 2 different call to actions. And this is just what we kind of do every month, right? Like we kind of test new stuff every month. Obviously that depends on how much you spend, but you will need to test way more of everything than you think, right? But you start with the basics, what I told you before. Have a good offer and clearly communicate the tangible value of that offer to your target audience, right? That's super important. I've made another video about how you can, have the perfect direct response ad. I will link it here. And also I'm going to, put myself on screen here. If you need help with this, if you want us to build you a scalable client acquisition system that adds $50,000 to $100,000 to your monthly revenue, and you're already, advanced, right? Then please feel free to schedule a call below with our team, and we'll see each other in the next video. Subscribe for this if you want more of this value.